Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Oh my God, I made myself cough. Good heavens. Good morning, everyone. This is Coffee and Headlines. It is Tuesday, February 18, and today is one of those awesome broadcasts because there's good news, there's some bad news, but you're going to be talking about it anyway, so we might as well talk about it. There's feel good stories, there's a Mexican expression to learn, and this is the kind of broadcast that I love to put together. So we were like a couple of minutes late this morning, but it's all for a good reason. Oh my God! And we also have a love story between a man and a bird. My goodness, there's all kinds of wonderful things to unpack today, so I'm all excited. We might as well get started. I hope you're having a great morning. I am, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share all this news with you. And as always, capital letter Q for your comments that you wish to have acknowledged. Capital letter N for those of you that are watching live for the first time and would like a little welcome, a little acknowledgement. And to the big silent majority, I know you're here and I appreciate your presence. And to those of you that watch later on YouTube or on Facebook, thank God for replays. Let's get into the news. In case you didn't get the memo, the El Salado Estuary has been closed for some time, but we have good news. The reactivation of the Estero El Salado, or the El Salado Estuary State Park in Puerto Vallarta, is underway. The Ministry of Environmental and Territorial Development, or SEMADET, has reported that in March, it will begin hiring people to reinforce the team in charge of the operation of this natural space. What is the estuary? You probably have driven past it a million times if you're heading towards Marina Vallarta. It is one of the few estuaries located in an urban environment in the entire country. So you get there, you hop on a little boat, and you go through the canals doing sightseeing, bird watching, croc sighting, all kinds of things. You're offered guided tours, of course, and then you disembark inside of the estuary, and there's an observation deck that shows you how amazing this habitat is and why it is important to protect it from development and construction nearby. So it is a good thing that they're reopening, and hopefully we'll be able to go back in there. It's been many years since I've visited it, so I look forward to seeing it again. And moving right along, Puerto Vallarta it's only February, but we're about to enter the dry season, which is characterized by the drop in the water level in the groundwater and rivers due to the lack of rain. And this, in turn, reduces the production capacity in the supply sources. This natural phenomenon that traditionally occurs from the month of March onwards has worsened in the region due to the reduction in the incidence of rain in recent years. And this year, it is already causing some damage to the levels of the Seapal Vallarta tanks, which are showing a decrease in levels. Given this situation, in addition to the efforts to maintain and increase the availability of drinking water with the actions and projects that Seapal Vallarta maintains, we are all recommended to make rational and appropriate use of this vital resource at all times. So just keep this in mind. It's dry season already, so be mindful with your water use. And of course, we've been talking about this, but it's good news, big news. After decades of waiting, and going through multiple municipal administrations, and a long series of unfulfilled promises, the hydraulic concrete work on Montessori Street is has been finally completed, and the street will open imminently. And this is an important road because it is a key connection with Francisco Medina Asensio Avenue, the main artery of the city, and it has positive impact on nearby neighborhoods such as La Aurora, Las Aralias, the La Marina condominiums, as well as Vallarta 500 and Vallarta 750. So we've been waiting for this, and it's finally here. Now, this is important news. Uber has announced the addition of a new feature that will allow drivers to block passengers with low ratings. This measure seeks to improve the experience and safety of those who drive on the platform, avoiding future trips with users who have received negative ratings. Remember, we talked about Lady Uber not too long ago? Well, now you know you should not be behaving badly when you hop on an Uber, because if you do, you might just get blocked and may not be able to use the service again. And here's here's the news. Talk about a bumpy ride. And we're reporting this one only because you're bound to be discussing it already. It happened last night around 7:30 p.m. in Emiliano Zapata, no less, that a bus lost control and ended up crashing into a business. And although there were material damages to the establishment, no injuries were reported. According to witnesses, the driver was traveling at excessive speed, and upon reaching an intersection, he lost control of the bus, which caused the crash. Of course, municipal traffic quickly showed up to carry out the corresponding investigation and determine the responsibilities. Now, here's the poetic irony in this situation. It's not any business that it hit. It hit a business called Highway. And Highway is a very common expression in Spanish that we say when something ominous is about to happen or has just happened, or somebody's telling you a scary or ominous story. And what happens when that happens is we go, Highway, Highway. So that's the name of a clothing store, and it is amusing. Well, not amusing. It is just sweetly ironic that it happened against that particular store. And we mentioned this several months ago, and now, given some changes happening north of the border, this seems to make total sense nowadays as part of the initiative called Plan Mexico, presented by the federal government. The Ministry of Economy has published an agreement in which the certification marks Made in Mexico and Hecho en Mexico are made official. This announcement represents the reintroduction of the label, which you see on your screen, originally created back in 1978, with specific rules and conditions that were established in 2018. So this is a label that is in place to instill pride in national products. I have a pendant called that says Made in Mexico, and it has that specific logo in it, and I wear it with lots of pride from time to time. But it's interesting that I was just watching the news last night, and I saw a short feature on how Canada is doing the same thing with Canadian products. We don't need to get into the why, but I am happy that the Mexican government is reactivating this particular label. We wear it with pride. I wear it with pride. It is a good thing to have. And now let us take a quick look at the weather forecast. But first, another reminder.
For over 60 years, one name has defined style, intrigue, and unforgettable music. From the first notes of Dr. No to the chart-topping theme songs that followed, the James Bond franchise has left a lasting mark on film history. But how did it all begin? And what makes the Bond sound so iconic? Join your host, Paco Ojeda, for Shaken, Not Stirred, iconic James Bond film scores and songs. Thrilling music appreciation presentation uncovering the stories behind 007's legendary sound. As usual, we will meet at the Joint Boutique Hotel & Co-work. The date, February 20 at 5 p.m. Tickets available at the hotel's front desk. Advance purchase recommended. You don't need to be a Bond fan to enjoy this one. But by the end, you just might be.
Diamonds are forever. It's going to be so much fun, the Bond shindig. But not now. Now we talk about the news, and now snarky news service is inaccurate because the snarky weatherman says these clouds want to pee all over you so bad I alone can stop the golden deluge. Well, no pee, no rain, no nothing here. We are in the dry season. It is 23 degrees. Humidity is at 69%. And our weather forecast says today we're going to expect mostly cloudy skies throughout the day with a high of 26 and a low of 17. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, we will have mostly clear skies throughout the day with a high of 27 and a low of 16. And on Thursday, we will have mostly cloudy skies throughout the day with a high of 26 and a low of 16. What is next? Oh, yes, we have to talk about a love story. But before we do that, just picture a bunch of overly caffeinated chickens arguing about who gets the last tortilla chip. Have you heard that crazy sound that belongs to this bird? She's called, or he's called, they are called the Chachalacas. The Chachalaca is a medium-sized ground-dwelling bird found in Mexico and Central and South America. It belongs to the Craxidae family, which includes guans and curassows. The most common species around here is the West Mexican Chachalaca. And I joked yesterday, and I continue to joke today, Chachalacas were created in a day in which God woke up in a bad mood. And she decided, let's make chachalacas. They cry and they're foul sounding. They're not particularly pretty. And they're ground birds. They hop on trees, but they're not urban birds. And thank God they're not, because their screechiness is not, it's just not pretty. But they're fascinating creatures, and only God knows how this particular one found itself in a high story of a building where our dear friend Albert lives. And it was Albert who took these photographs. What was this Chachalaca doing so high up there is unclear. But the Chachalaca got ballsy and got closer to where Albert spends his leisure time painting. And before you know it, she was like on top of his painting chingaderas. And I don't see why the Chachalaca is not moving. Maybe I didn't prepare my video properly, but this was supposed to be a short video of the Chachalaca drinking water. And then the Chachalaca took a nap right there near Albert. And when Albert shared these photographs with me, I thought this was absolutely amazing because they're not particularly bold birds. They don't get close to humans, but all I can say is Albert seems to have adopted one. I think Albert even went on as to say that she was called Luisa. And I know why. Albert said that. This morning, I exchanged messages with our dear friend Luisa from Guadalajara. I don't see her online right now. She sent me a huge 10-minute long audio update, so I don't know what's going on with them, but I will listen to it after the broadcast. But I just think this is such a freaking blessing to have one of these birds so close to you. So all I can say is, Albert, take good care of your girlfriend, feed her, and hopefully she will continue to visit your apartment. And hopefully I will get a chance to meet her one of these days. What a unique story. I love reporting on this one. And moving right along, I have great news to share. Banderas News is reporting that the recent International Friendship Club's Valentine's Day raffle was a smashing success, raising an impressive 251,000 pesos and surpassing their 200,000 peso goal, making it their most successful raffle ever. And I need one of these. But I have to tell you something. What really moved me was this beautiful letter that I received from the International Friendship Club that I want to share with all of you this morning. Good morning, Paco. This year's fundraiser exceeded our 2025 goal and raised more funds for charity than all prior years. I am certain that your support was instrumental in making this happen. The International Friendship Club and the charities that we support, thank you. And this came from Drew Wilk, who is the IFC charity fundraising supervisor. But I think he meant to thank you, because while we present connections here at Coffee and Headlines, it is you who take advantage of these connections, who put them to good use. So while I'm grateful to be the conduit of good news, I am even more grateful to know that you make such a wonderful difference in the well-being of some of these organizations. So I am sharing this little token of gratitude with you, because at the end of the day, you make it happen. Here, Luna and I, we just put the connections out there for you to enjoy. And we're going to end with a feel-good bit of news and story. The magic of the circus returns to San Pancho in Nayarit, as Circo de los Niños de San Pancho presents their latest theatrical production called The Time Machine, La Máquina del Tiempo. The circus will present this show from March 26 to March 28 at 7:30 in the Circus Bodega in San Pancho. Tickets go very quickly, so early purchases are encouraged. Now, you're probably thinking, why are we making a big deal of a circus presentation in San Pancho? Well, if you know the story, let me share it with those that don't. It was back in 2011 that Cirque du Soleil co-founder Gilles St. Croix, who has a house in San Pancho, along with his partner Monique Voyer, they approached one of the local nonprofits in San Pancho and said, what would happen if we open a circus school? And we used it to teach local children how to fall down and get back up. And that is a metaphor of life. Well, this, what began as a very small adventure, has turned into the most unique circus school you could imagine. Why? Because in order to put together these productions, the Circo de los Niños, or the Children's Circus of San Pancho, relies on props, acrobatic equipment, costumes, and all kinds of paraphernalia that the worldwide Cirque du Soleil is no longer using. So this stuff is sent down here, and combined with the creativity and initiative of local circus teachers with the guidance of Gilles St. Croix and Monique Boyer, they put together these heartwarming circus shows that empower local children, local Mexican children, how to deal with life, how to work through falling and getting up again. And when the circus happens, when the shows happen, uh, Sankra invites Cirque du Soleil professionals, acrobats, choreographers, lighting designers, music designers to come down to San Pancho and volunteer their service to improve the quality of the circus. So when you go to see the Circo de los Niños in San Pancho, you are so close to experiencing Cirque du Soleil. It's that kind of quality. It is truly amazing. And I'm getting goosebumps just from talking about this. I have gone to Circo de los Niños several years in a row, and I tell you, it is worth the day trip to San Pancho. It is amazing to get in touch with the founders of the circus, and tickets go by. They fly out the door. So if you ever thought about going to the circus in this town, go to the Circo de los Niños in San Pancho because it is amazing, right in our backyard that this is happening, and it's the kind of thing that nobody talks about, but it is a wonderful thing. Anyhow, I think we are at the end of what I brought to the table today. Yeah, let us get on with this and take a look at this. And here we are in our chit chat section. And I am going to take a look at your comments just to see what everybody is up to out there. Good mornings, good morning, good mornings, many good mornings. Thank you very much for that. Many, many good mornings. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Christy, I'm so happy that you're here because I know you like animal stories, and I hope you enjoyed our little foray into Chachalaca world. Great news about the estuary. Yes, I had friends visiting just last month from Oregon, and they wanted to go see it. And I remember going with Lars. We actually got to the gate of the estuary, and there was a very small sign saying está cerrado. So it's really unfortunate, but I'm looking forward to seeing it again. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Here's a cue. Picked up our tickets a few days ago for our very first music appreciation night this coming Thursday. Oh, how wonderful. Trudy, please talk when you're there. Please remind me that you're there so that we can say hello to each other and I can appreciate in person your presence. Let's see what else is going on. Boom, 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 boom. Laura says, in regards to Uber, I think that's good news. Well, I had an Uber accident one time. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. But never mind. Let's change the topic. Oh, what the hell? I will tell you. One day, oh my God, I'm blushing like a schoolgirl. So one day, I'm trying to get out of the Uber. Why am I sharing this? Well, I'm already halfway there. I'm trying to get out of the Uber after doing all my shopping, and I'm schlepping my big bag, and like pudgy little round person that I am, trying to get out, and I'm already like 2/3 out of the car when I cut the cheese. And it wasn't a subtle thing. I mean, it was loud. It was not a moment that I was proud of. And I was already too far out of the car to even be able to say to the driver, oops, I'm sorry, I just farted into your car, I am very sorry. So it was weird. So needless to say, ever since that happened to me, I make sure that the faucet is really, really nicely, tightly closed so that no chachalaca sounding sounds will happen as I'm trying to get out of the Uber. But I remember when this happened, I mean, obviously I laughed about it, but I wonder, is this going to decrease my credit rating? So if you pass gas while in an Uber, don't, you might get blocked. Don't let it happen to you. Anyhow, why did I say that? My voice, my Isn't that story in the middle of the block? How did he manage that with the bus? See, that's the weird part, Christy. You are correct. Aigüe is right in the middle of the bus. So why would the bus try to take a turn? I think it's like right before Basilio Vadillo or something. But oftentimes these bus drivers are texting. So the bus driver could have been texting. We don't know. We'll find out in the next few days. If there's a follow-up story, I'll be happy to share. Let's see what else we have. Michael says, I love those birds. I do too. I wouldn't want to have one in like next to my window because they're very, very loud. Mijal, hello, Mijal. Mijal says, Albert, you are now that bird's person. Well, wouldn't that be fun? I totally want to, if this becomes a habit of the Chachalaca visiting, I want to find out what visiting hours are and go and visit Albert in his swanky artist apartment. Let's see. Karen says, Albert, wonderful photos. You have new friend. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for letting me share the photographs. I know you sent them personally, but you said yesterday that I could share them today, Albert. I think we want to have Chachalaca updates. Suzanne says, lots of Chachalaca behind my house by the cemetery. They always make me laugh. That is wonderful. And Logan says that Chachalaca is clearly one of Albert's abuelas or tias reincarnated, dropping in to encourage him in his new endeavors. Logan, it is great to read you, and I am going to tell you something, and everybody else. Guess who's coming for an interview for the Spotlight next week? I'll give you a hint. He is handsome, and he is a local lucha libre star. Tómala. We're going to interview Jacob in anticipation of the next Chachalaca, the next Lucha Libre series of matches that will take place at La Lija on March 1st, but we're going to get a chance to converse with two fighters a week from tomorrow as we put together the Spotlight. Yay. Oh, Albert says, I attract the strangest friends. Mijal says, I represent that comment, Albert, and I'm happy to be part of that syndicate, of that union, the weird friends. That's definitely me. Wow is right, Christy. Wow is right. The Circo de los Niños de San Pancho is a must. A must. It is so spiritually uplifting. It is a wonderful thing to see. Thanks for sharing the story behind the San Pancho Circus. Again, get tickets, find a ride. You will be so gratified. It's not even funny. Let's see. Oh my goodness, such wonderful comments from all of you about everything that we reported today. Thank you very much. Paco, remember, better out than in. Well, there are places where one of these days we're going to have a deep conversation about fart protocol in ETN buses going to Guadalajara, but not today. There is such a thing as fart protocol, but not today. We'll save it. Let's see. Uh, Jeannie, it's great to read you. I have been away for quite a while, but picked a great day to return. Thank you for the information about the circus and the Uber chuckle. Well, again, some days we're blessed with lots of news and lots of stories. Other days, not so much. So I'm glad that you appreciate the variety. Um, and Logan reacts to my mention that the handsome luchador Jacob is going to come for an interview. He is like, I'll be in the front row with pompons. Um, and that this is just an opportunity to remind you that this Sunday there's going to be a free lucha libre match at the Pitillal main plaza. I'm going to be there. It starts at 7 o'clock, so it's a perfect time to enjoy some of the food and all the chingaderas that are available at the plaza in the evening. And of course, it's a chance to catch the fighters without spending a dime. And this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to Destiny for sending such lively combinations of news and stories for today. Thank you very much for letting me share this information with you. It's going to be a fun day for me as I continue to prepare for Bond music in a couple of days. So I wish you all a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Have a good one.